right, guys, if you've never seen a helicopter except for the spotlight coming over your house in the middle of the night, hopefully not for you, but we're going to talk to these two gentlemen. They are with
Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Marion County Sheriff. They're the guys that have the really cool cars. They've got Dodges that they take. Now this wasn't taken from a this wasn't confiscated from a drug smuggler.
No, sir.
Okay, so when you guys, as soon as we come back, we're going to talk about a helicopter. Yeah, it's Junkyards and Barn Finds, and these things weren't made long enough ago that we could call them a classic. So we're going to talk about the helicopter. So welcome to another episode of Junkyards and Barn Finds with Sean, and I'm Sean. Hey guys, check this out.
How you guys doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, big man?
Got more room than my barracks in the Navy. All right, guys, so this is pretty cool. They have a police car, so if you come up behind it, and they actually use this car, so if you come up behind it, you may think you're coming up behind a yellow taxi, and then literally it is an actual police car, and they do use this car. So it's pretty cool. And then they have a cell, so if you want to know what it's like to be in a cell, this shows you what a prison cell is like right in there. That's it. That's your whole cell right there. That's where you're going to live if you go to jail. And then they have a really cool Dodge that was seized from a heroin dealer over there. It's like a 74, so pretty cool. So
Okay.
so you guys, so first off, you're with the sheriff's department here in Florida,
Yes, sir.
and are you guys both pilots?
I'm a pilot in command. He is a pilot and training to be a pilot in command.
All right, and where did you guys first, a lot of times people think that everybody who flew this was ex-military.
I was.
You were
Or
ex-military.
I am, yes.
But I've met a Lee County pilot who actually was a sheriff's deputy who went through school and became a helicopter pilot. So you were a deputy and you're like, hey, I want to do this for a living.
Yep.
I want to get in something that spins around at a lot of close parts that weren't never made to be in the air and chase people. So tell me a little bit, John, a little bit about this, what your mission is, what do you guys do, why do you need this?
Well, this is a 2006 model Bell 407. This aircraft was acquired by the Sheriff's Office in 2017, went through about 6 months of conversion work, and we took delivery in January of 18. This aircraft is our multi-mission aircraft. It was not military surplus. We bought it outright. And this aircraft it's a jack of all trades. It'll do the law enforcement mission. We can do aerial firefighting with it. We can do aerial rescues with it. We have a rescue hoist on the left side. This one pretty much does everything that we can do or would want to do in law enforcement.
So some of the things now, does this have an ERDS? In case, does it have ERDS and infrared detection?
This has a dual mode camera. It has HD electro-optical or daytime video,
Right.
and a forward-looking infrared, high
Okay.
definition
So
forward
FLIR,
infrared as
right.
well. along with laser pointers, infrared laser pointers, and a laser rangefinder as well.
So you got the R2D2 unit, and it's typically one of you are flying and one's operating the video?
Yes, one pilot sits in the right seat, tactical flight officer in the left seat, and he gets to be the one to work with all the mission computers, the cameras, the radios.
Now, can you transfer what you're seeing here down to like the ground to anybody on the ground to see?
Not at this time.
Okay.
We do have a recording system so that we can capture whatever has been going on that we've been looking at. We are in the process of getting a digital video downlink system. We're just having to acquire that.
Now, one of the things I know from my time in the military with helicopters is the worst thing you can do is use a spotlight to hoover at night, because that is the scariest thing, because you start losing your other, your ear and everything. Yeah.
It can
so
happen.
So is that one of the reasons why you always have two guys in here, or is this always, or can this be flown with one?
You can fly it with one person, however, to do the mission effectively, to run the cameras and so forth, and to do it safely, you need two people to do it. And also to do the rescue mission, you gotta have two people.
Now, does this have a hoist on it?
A hoist? Yes, sir.
Yeah, on the other side. And then these here are floats, but they're not floats so that you can land in the water and hang out with boaters.
Correct.
They're in case you have to go down.
Yeah.
And you need, so that it doesn't flip over and sink.
Right. This is in the event we have an engine failure over water. We pop those. It'll give us enough time to keep the aircraft on the surface for everybody to get out.
Okay. So you have the hoist over here.
Hoist is on the left-hand side. It's a 300-pound capacity hoist.
So I'm 270, guys. So if I'm soaking wet, they ain't hauling my ass up. They're just gonna watch me till a boat comes.
We'll get you out. This door would come off, and then we have some extra rigging that we put in here, and then we go to work with the hoist.
And then you do, it's what, you got 5 seats in the back, 2 in the front, but what's like a maximum lift on this?
The maximum weight on the ground on the skids is 5,250 pounds. We can go to 6,000 pounds once we're off the ground. So that extra 750 pounds that we get is for an external cargo load.
Okay, so it's not scary. If you had to rescue 5 people, this can handle this pretty.
It's going to get pretty cramped in there with 5 people, depending on their size. But typically what we'll do on a rescue mission is we'll pull 2 people out. We'll go to an LZ landing zone, drop them off with first responders on the ground so they can get immediate medical attention, and then we'll go back and we'll just usually 2 or 3 at a time until we have everybody moved out.
Now, the early bells, that a lot of the ones that, well, maybe not now, but back in the 80s and 90s only had two blades.
Yes.
And so the 4-blade, tell us, like, what's the difference? What does 4 blades do that 2 blades does?
It gives you more lift.
So
it gives you more lift. You can use the available horsepower from the engine. Those helicopters you're talking about, which we have 2 of them, OH-58s, their engines are derated down to 320 horsepower because that's all the rotor system can handle. This one's 720 horsepower. So we take that extra power that this engine generates, put on 2 more blades, it gives it that much more lifting capability.
Now, is this a single engine or a dual engine?
Single.
Single? Okay. Because some of the, like M8, the H60s, they're going to have twin engine, and they're turbine engines.
Yes.
Is this a turbine or?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a turbine engine. So it's basically a jet engine that works its way around through gearing and everything.
Yes, it has a gearbox mounted on the bottom side of the engine, and the internal parts of the engine that would normally drive either at the front would drive a propeller shaft on the front with a gearbox on the front. This one has the gearbox under the bottom in the middle, and it drives it that way. So you have an accessory gearbox that drives the drive shaft that comes off and drives the main transmission, and one goes back and drives tail wheel.
Okay, so but it's a really, now is all this has a glass, what we call a glass cockpit? Because the old one was an analog, and it's kind of, think of it this way, guys, instead of having the analog things in your car, in a 50s car, they have basically a couple iPads that you can kind of pull up in a way.
Same general concept, however this aircraft it's kind of a hybrid. If you look up front here, see the smaller round gauges,
so that they're backups or whatever?
Those are the primary engine and systems gauges. The screens that you see, the one on the far right, that's for aircraft navigation, And the two on the left are for the mission. One displays a moving map, the other one displays the camera image.
Oh, okay. So, and the way you fly a helicopter is using this and that, correct?
And the pedals.
And the pedals.
And the pedals.
Okay.
This one is your power, makes the aircraft go up and down, or if you're in flight already, it speeds you up or slows you down. The cyclic, which is this one, that's kind of like a steering wheel, forwards, backwards, left and right.
Okay.
And then the pedals are for yaw control. They control the tail rotor. That keeps the nose pointed in the direction you want it to go.
And the reason the tail rotor's there is to counteract the torque of the main rotor. So that's why if you when we see images of helicopters spinning, a lot of times it's a failure of the tail rotor that's causing that.
The tail rotor with a drive system to it.
Okay. Well, very cool. And by the way, when you're looking, especially if you ever watch a movie and you see a movie star, they jump in the right seat as if they're flying the helicopter.
Some do,
but majority of the time the command pilot's in the left, right? Is that
on this aircraft? It's in the right seat.
Really?
Yep. MD helicopters, McDonnell Douglas helicopters, their pilot in command is on the left.
Because I know on aircraft, the pilot command's usually the left.
Most fixed wing airplanes, pilot in command sits in the left seat.
And what is this thing that says high pressure cylinder for?
That's the pressurized helium bottle for the float bags.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, well, cool. And how long you been flying? Total?
A long time, 32 years.
So how many thousand hours?
Last I looked, I was at 4,500 hours.
And what did you fly in the military?
I flew Hueys and Blackhawks.
Okay. So you like this better?
For this point in my life, yes.
So you get to go home every night. You don't get to go on deployment.
Unless it's a hurricane. We did go deploy for Hurricane Ian.
Oh, okay.
But, I do like what I do here, yes. A lot.
Oh, cool. Well, hey, thanks for talking to us.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
So there you go, guys. Sometimes we show cars, sometimes we show bikes, sometimes we show trucks, and today we're looking at a helicopter. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. April, should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.
Where it says merchandise store right here, merchandise store link, you will see it says https:/junkyards-barn-finds, and you click on that and it's going to take you here.